Reese, you want to start things off with Joe? Go to Grant, then Mike, then Rob.
So what's it like to be part of that game where shots aren't falling on either side, but also come out with a win in that game?
I mean, I think you have to have a game like that shows a lot of character, how you respond when you're not making shots, and I feel like we responded really well on the defensive end, unlike we did against Florida when shots weren't falling. And I think we learned a lot from that game. Many lessons were learned, and I'm glad we responded the way we did today. But a game like this shows a lot of character. How do you react when things aren't going your way offensively?
Why was this different than Florida? I mean, what are those lessons that you learned?
Yeah, just being able, like I said, like I've always said, we think we're the best defensive team in the country. Whether shots are falling, whether we're scoring or not, we always have to be able to rely on our defense. And on Wednesday when we played them, we weren't that team. And so we sat down in the film room, we had to look ourselves in the mirror individually and collectively as a team and learn from our mistakes, and I feel like we did.
Feels like you've always been a good rebounder for your position, for your size. Grabbing 14 in a game like that, was there some point in the game where you kind of realized that you would have to take that on you because of the way it was flowing?
I knew coming in that was what I was going to be called to do. That was what my position needed. That's what my team needed for us to get a win. So just, I had a talk with GP the other day, just talking about being more physical on the offensive glass, on the defensive glass, and using the body that God's given me to my strength. And so I think that my mindset going into the game and my mindset in practice has been that, and it has to keep being that moving forward.
Ryan, then David.
How would you describe the emotion and physicality of that game?
It was a lot of emotion and definitely a lot of physicality, but we knew that was going to be the case. It's always the case when we play them, and it's usually the case when we play throughout the SEC, but this one especially, they've got athletic guys, big guys who don't back down from the challenge. I feel like we're the same way, so it's always fun when we get to match up against those guys.
Josiah, are you surprised you haven't played more single possession games this season? And what can you take away from these? How are these different as far as taking away from other games that you play?
I mean, basketball is weird. I can't say that I'm surprised that we haven't been in more games like this, but it's definitely beneficial for us down the road. I feel like every game is beneficial, but the ones where, it's 1, 2 possession, 3 possession games are really big, and we have a lot to learn. And I think that it's a fine line between winning and losing, and you saw that today. 1 possession here, 1 possession there is a difference in a game. So we just have to, Coach always preaches that every possession matters, both offensively and defensively, and that was proven today.
Josiah, how do you all stay bought in, like when shots aren't going down for a 40-minute game, and to stay locked in on the defensive end? What are the challenges that kind of go behind, not making shots, but also playing as well as you did on defense?
Well, our biggest thing is we like to give each other confidence. Anytime I miss a shot today, Santi, Zakai, and whoever was out on the floor, keep shooting. The next one's gonna fall. Don't get hesitant, and vice versa with whoever shot may not be falling. Like Olivier, he missed a couple early ones, but we kept giving him the ball. We stay confident in each other because we know that the work that we put in, we know the capabilities and the talent that we have on the offensive end. And I think just defensively, that's our DNA. Like I said, we have high character guys, and your character shows when things aren't going your way and shots aren't falling. So I was really proud of the way we responded today defensively.
Coach Barnes said that they expect you to make some of those mid-range jumpers to kind of settle the guys down when those shots aren't falling. What makes you that guy for this coaching staff?
I would just credit my preparation, credit the work that I put in before practice, after practice. Whether it's making shots around the perimeter or just doing form shooting, I feel like I can get to my spot. My teammates have given me the ultimate confidence to when I get the ball within the arc to go raise up above defenders. And so it's just the confidence thing that I have in myself and that my teammates give me.
Josiah, back here. What about Tobey? Does a physical style game fit his style of play?
Everything about Tobey is physical. The way he walks, the way he talks, like he's just a physical human being. He's a big dude, and like I was telling the guys on the court, like I've never been around somebody who just I think he should have played football. I'm really surprised that he didn't. But he's a smart guy. He doesn't want the head injuries and things like that. but he brought everything I think like a football player would do, and brought that to the game of basketball. And his play style is physicality, and that's what we need from him. And he brings an enforcer type guy like Urosh does, where we know that Tobey one-on-one, we're taking Tobey every day of the week just because of the way he practices. Like he's always going to put his body on the line. He's always going to give 100%, and that's what we need out of everybody, but especially Tobey.
Finish up with Wes and Mike.
Josiah, when y'all go and watch, I know every game's its own kind of game, but when y'all go watch games on tape and games you've shot well and games you haven't, is it usually just missed shots that are the difference, or are there other things that lead to that?
Wait, one more time, my bad.
No, like when you're watching games of when y'all play well offensively and when you don't, is just making or missing shots the only difference, or are there things that sort of lead to those performances other than the shots?
Yeah, sometimes that's the case, but more often than not, like some of the games throughout the year where we started off slow is we were trying to play outside in, not getting an inside presence, and that's where we try to correct our mistakes on offense. So, starting the game off early, playing inside out, and playing inside out throughout the game. But sometimes it is just missed shots, but more often than not, we make the mistake of trying to get shots early, playing outside in.
Josiah, what did Jemai give you guys today, and how have you guys kept encouraging him to kind of get back to maybe some of those things he was doing earlier in the year?
Yeah, Jemai's a dog. He gives us so much on the defensive end. He's still coming into his own on the offensive end. And one thing that we like to do, like I said, with anybody, whether they're making shots, missing shots, you're going to shoot the ball. And if not, you're going to hear about it. And, he's been trying to find his role, but one thing that us players have been preaching to him is that we need him to take over the shots. Because our offense starts when the ball hits the rim. We're going to go get it on the offensive glass. That's what we're taught to do. That's our offense. And so whether he makes it, whether he misses it, we're definitely just trying to give him the most confidence possible. And he's a terrific player defensively, and I definitely think he has the capabilities, and he's showing his offensive side of the game as well now.
Thanks, Joe.
Appreciate it.